All right, welcome to another episode of the Pinpoint Investor podcast with Faisal Morsi. I'm stoked about our next guest, Mark Jensen. We've had a couple conversations, and what little we've spoken about so far is it's mind blowing. So, Mark, I appreciate you coming on.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
All right, so give me an idea. What do you do, and how did you get to where you are?
Yeah, I got my fingers in a whole bunch of pies right now, so I'm busy. But my career in the past, like I've been in management literally since the time I was 16, even 17. Um, Always been some kind of leadership role. Worked in the automotive industry, um, moved my way up through there. Worked in for IKEA for 7 years, no, 9 years, sorry. Um, was a trainer with IKEA, traveled the world. So that was a great experience. But I realized that I had missed, all of a sudden, my two youngest kids were teenagers. And so I had a new son on the way, and he's 17 now. So that was a career choice to say, okay, what can I do where I can schedule my time and not miss out on my kids' hockey games or plays or whatever. So that got me into real estate. As a solo agent for about 10 or 11 years. Did really well in the luxury market. Then all of a sudden I had a really bad year that really made me think about how I was doing. I didn't have any systems in place. I was just running. So in that time, I worked with several different coaches, real estate coaches. Sort of took pieces from each of them and built my business up. I built a team. From the team, I decided to open a brokerage. And so I've had the brokerage open for a while. And in doing that training, because that's what I really wanted to focus on, was I know real estate agents, you get your license and literally it's like, okay, now what? Right? Because they
Yeah.
don't teach you any of the real life experiences. They don't teach you how to sell. They don't teach you how to deal with people. They don't teach you how to generate leads, how to convert leads. So I started doing a really intensive training package and I realized like this is good and it can be used for anybody. So I started my coaching business a couple of years ago. During COVID, I decided my focus was going to be go all in with tech in real estate. So I knew that real estate was going to be changing, and I always wanted to be on the cusp of what the best tech is that's out there to help me generate leads, convert leads, give me more time to do what I want to do and not having to do repetitive tasks. That then got me into AI, and now I've started a AI automation company, which is doing helping. It can help any business right now, but really we're focusing at the beginning on real estate to help automate their businesses. Communicating between different software packages, but we've also created a inbound and outbound AI calling system that's so natural. And literally, it's 1 out of 10 people even realize that it's an AI voice, even though it introduces itself as AI voice.
Oh, wow, it's amazing. All right, before we get into the AI stuff, let's talk
Yeah.
about real
Yeah.
estate. So, what market are you in?
I'm in Oakville, Ontario, Canada. So Oakville it's right on Lake Ontario, pretty much across the lake from Niagara Falls, um, half an hour from Toronto. Oakville is a luxury market and one of the most expensive markets in Canada. The average detached home price here is $1.35 million. You cannot purchase any detached house, it doesn't matter what it is, under $1 million.
Oh, wow. You're my first Canadian guest, so I appreciate you. How is the Canadian market, or I guess like real estate in Canada, different than the United States, or even like your job as an agent?
Really, up front, there's nothing like, the whole lead generation, dealing with people, converting them, finding the right house, all of that's the same. The only thing, there's a little bit more transaction management on the back end for US than there is in Canada. So literally, once we've signed the paperwork and the deal's firmed up, that's it. It's done. And it goes to the lawyer. And it might be 60 days to close. In the US, deals can fall apart. They can't hear. Once the deal's done, there's a contract. You got a contract. If you want to get out of the contract, then you're going to get sued for anything, any costs or any, if we have to sell it for less. So the cost of that, nobody doesn't like, I've never had a deal not close ever.
This blows my mind. I've had many deals not close.
Yeah.
So I mean, here we have like inspection contingencies and financing
That's all done up
contingencies.
front. So when you purchase the home, it's
Huh?
typically most of the time it's 7 day contingency on home inspection and financing. In 7 days, you have to firm up or the deal falls apart.
And so do you sign another contract after those
No,
seven
you just
days?
firm it up. You just
Okay.
sign it. It's called a notice of fulfillment. So you put conditions in the offer, and then once you've met those conditions, you just send a notice of fulfillment that we've met those conditions and it firms up.
And is the like the loan process the same as America?
More or less, it's all done. For us, it doesn't matter whether it's cash or a loan, like from the seller side. Wherever the money comes from, it's still the same, right? It still ends up in everything goes to the lawyers, and then the lawyers distribute the money.
Got it.
That's
Do the sellers are they still responsible for the agent fees up there?
So yeah, the seller is responsible for buyer and seller. Um, Again, it's always negotiable. I know what's happened in the US. Obviously we're familiar with it. Um, there is a lawsuit in process. It's a little bit further out. Our process is a little bit longer than the US, and they're only going after a couple of big brokerages, and that's it. So,
And
um,
is it still like 5%, 5 or 6%, like somewhere around there?
Well, most of the time, the max in Canada has been 5%. We're a little bit lower. Well, obviously, with our prices higher too. So, a 5% commission is still $35,000 per end average,
Wow.
right? So,
Okay.
and then the thing you got to remember, in Toronto, we sold 57,000 homes last year, and there's 77,000 agents.
Yeah, it's crazy. I
So
just saw.
figure that math out, right? So
Yeah,
it's not like, the average agent isn't doing 30 deals a year, you know.
yeah. And I
So what
saw
is
I
it?
saw a stat recently that said like
Okay.
there was like 1.3 million homes listed in the United States, and there was like 1.5 million agents or
Yeah,
something.
yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, in the Toronto board, like 56% of the agents sold one or less homes last year. Like one end, not even, not a double, just one end. So if you sell five, you're in the top 10%.
Ridiculous. Yeah. I
Like,
mean, most people just have their license on the side, just as like a hobby or something.
but the
Um,
problem with like us good agents is, yeah, we still get our business, but when you have 1,000 people taking one, it all adds up, right? So, yeah, that's the unfortunate thing is that most people don't realize the differences between agents, especially on the buying side. I don't see that they ever spend much time interviewing like they would on the selling side, where the buying side is just as important, if not more. And they just go with whoever the first person they talk to.
Agreed. Yeah.
I have a stat that's 80% of people go with the first agent they actually had this discussion with.
Insane. Um, yeah, it's not that much different here either.
No, no, no.
That's crazy. All right. So a couple years ago, you decided that you wanted to start incorporating tech, and that's when you started incorporating AI. Tell me more about that.
Yeah, so well, it wasn't AI at the beginning because it was obviously, 3 or 4 years ago, it was just starting. But I went in with a great CRM. I used Follow Up Boss. I started using YLOPO. YLOPO does my website and my IDX site. I really liked them because they had a lot of automations and a way to filter the leads. Because what I was realizing, like I was generating a lot of leads, and this is sort of how you build your business, right? You get an overflow. So all of a sudden, I had so many leads. I was calling all the time. I didn't even have time to go to the appointments. And then, so I realized I have to hire an ISA. And at that time, I hired a VA from the Philippines, trained her up. She made the phone calls and then got so busy where she was booking me back to back to back to back appointments. I would have four appointments, one literally, one right after the other. And all of a sudden, how was it going to be that I'm going to be doing showings and working with them. So that's when I realized I needed to hire another agent to work with me, and I started the team. So, that's sort of the flow, and that technology helped me. But still, there was a lot of manual stuff until Ylopo brought out AI texting.
Nice.
And that was one of the first AIs that I had ever seen. We integrated it into our texting, and that it was kind of cool that it could have full-on conversations with people and actually book appointments. I've had appointments booked by an AI text. Um,
Wow.
so that was sort of my first forte into it. Um, then so in my coaching career, I started again about leveraging my time, right? So I'm a finite resource. I only have so many hours in the day. I'm getting so many coaching clients. How am I going to be able to leverage this beyond this? So that's when I got into AI for coaching. So I developed a AI coaching and mentoring app. I trained it on all my materials. I've actually trained it even on Follow Up Boss, my CRM. So it knows it inside and out. You can ask it help questions. I trained it on every single help document. And that's a great thing about AI. You can just train it and train it and train it. And the other good thing is, so now that you've got this platform, so it literally can train you on life skills, relationships, budgeting, being entrepreneurial on top of all the real estate stuff as well. So it's been trained with just a wealth of information. I've written hundreds of articles that are in there. So those articles are 3 to 4 minutes. And when you're having a chat with the AI, it will pop up a related article to read while you're having the chat. So the way it's set up is micro coaching, 10 minutes in the morning and 10 minutes at night. So 10 minutes discussion about, are you keeping on with your goals, what you're going to do today. It asks you how you feel. If you say you're not feeling well, it will give you all the positive reinforcement. It'll give you a big boost to get you going for the day. And then at the end of the day, it's reflection about, okay, how did my day go?
Nice.
So for me, I even use this AI app to launch my AI app,
It's crazy. All
which
right.
sounds crazy, right?
So real quick. So
Yeah.
you mentioned training your AI, like for people that don't know, how do you train an AI?
Yeah, literally it can read documents, it can read websites. Um, so yeah, you just have to put some context to it. So within my app, there's a sort of a folder where I can upload it. I click training. It will generate a bunch of questions and responses. I can go in and edit it just to make it, if it missed the point or whatever. So then that's me training it, like it's learning and then some training. And it's the same with AI voice or anything with AI. It can learn all the information, and then you have to verify that it's interpreting it and utilizing it in the right way. And that's where the training comes in. So um, literally, it's generated all these questions. I can delete the ones that don't make sense. I can change the wording. I can add other ones that I think it's missing. Um, and the great thing is that it's adaptive to the individual. So once you start using it, it learns you. And the more you use it, the more it's going to understand you and help you motivate you and help you keep you on task for anything. And I think, I've set this up for real estate because that's my business. But honestly, this can be used in any field.
That's amazing.
You
So,
don't you don't have to choose. You get to choose the quests that you go on, and they don't have to be real estate related. It could be, I want to be an entrepreneur. And there's quests all set up to be an entrepreneur that's got nothing to do with real estate.
Wes, you make it seem like it's a video game. All right.
Well, it
Let's,
is sort of I gamify it a little bit, right? So there's topics, and then within the topic there's different quests, and within the quest there's different articles. So that's sort of how it's broken down. And then
well,
when you're in the app, you can use coaching mode or mentoring mode. So coaching mode is the AI just asking you questions. But not everybody is in that right place or right time. It depends on what they're doing. Asking questions is how you develop.
mhm.
for me, it's like it's changing your thought process. It's helping you as opposed to somebody just telling you what to do all the time. If someone's just telling you what to do, you're not really learning and developing personal growth. But the mentor program, that the mentor side, that's what it does. It does ask some questions. I tell most people use the mentor mode to begin with, and then just switch them back. And you can switch them back and forth within the conversation.
Now, is this an app that people can download to their phone?
Yep, yep.
Okay.
It's $39 a month. It's cheap. It's, for what it is and what's in it. Um,
I don't think I call. What's the name of it?
it's called Mod Mentor AI.
Okay, and are they able to find that like on Google Play and Apple?
No, I'd have to send you a link directly. So
Okay, sounds good.
we can do that. I don't know how you share it out, but I can share it with you. Maybe you can put it in a link or something. Um, yeah, so yeah, you can download it and it runs on your phone. It can or run on your computer, either or. It speaks to you. You can click your microphone and speak back to it, or text or type in whatever you prefer. Um, yeah, and it's totally adaptive to anything. Honestly, it will do any coaching that you want to be improve on. Relationships, yeah, you name it. It's so cool.
That's insane. Um,
Yeah,
all right, and so I know you mentioned that that you have a book that's coming out, or actually just released,
just
right?
came out. Yeah,
Okay. What?
Thursday. So it's called Unbreakable. It's mastering the mindset for real estate success, psychology, resilience, and personal growth. The reason I wrote it is, look, I went through it and I coach people, and I think especially any entrepreneur or anybody that works on their own, I think goes through this, but real estate has a lot of pitfalls that can really get into people's heads. So there's this image that real estate is all bells and whistles and selling sunset and all of that garbage that, that is just not even close to what the reality of what real estate is. Most, companies like EXP and all these virtual, everybody's working from home. They're not getting the contact. Most realtors within a disc profile are high I, which means they're relationship driven, yet they're sitting in front of a computer all day, not having a chance to build those relationships that fulfill them. So, um, and the other real estate, what other industry talks about how much money they make all the time?
None.
Right? It's a constant, like, oh, how many deals did you do? How much did you make? You don't ask, lawyers don't ask each other that. Doctors don't ask each other that. Like,
Oh,
it's just and like, honestly, every realtor does it. Like, it's like ingrained in all of our heads. And all I know is 50% of the people or more are full of shit when they say what they're making.
yep.
It's not true. And so then you feel like, oh, I'm not keeping up. I'm not good enough. But just look at the statistics. 61% of Trebs sold one deal or less last year. That's the Toronto Real Estate Board. Like, that's not enough to make a living on.
Not at all.
Like, so, it's in here it talks about the psychology of selling, and I'm a big proponent of that too because real estate license and brokerages most don't go into this at all. But everybody has a different personality type. And understanding how to work or how to sell to them. So, for example, when my inside sales agent was booking appointments for my agents, she would listen to the questions they ask and the who, the what, the how, the why sort of give you an indication of what disc profile they are, or even just listening. So she was really well trained. So she would put in the notes what disc profile they were, so the agent could be prepared when they were doing their presentation. So I'm a high D. I want everything fast, like, get to the point. If you're any slower, I'm going to start sticking needles in my eye. And then someone that's a C is going to want to know every detail. He's going to want to go through, and you got to go through slow. And if you don't understand that and how to recognize it and how to sell to them, and you only sell the way that you like to be sold to, you're alienating 75% of the people.
Agreed.
And that's such a huge key to success, and hardly anybody talks about it.
And
And
so,
that's
what does your book like cover in that regard? Like, is it?
we talk about disc in there. Yeah, it's just about. understanding how to talk clients off the edge, how to deal with stress, um, recognizing stress. So the first time I wrote this, I wrote it and it was really technical, and I really like got. And here's another thing that AI can help you um, gather data, right? So I would just gather all this data, get AI to sort of filter it out, and it was much easier for me to get all this information again that would have taken months into weeks, um, and really got in. And I wrote the book, and it was like, oh my God, this is like it was about 3 times as long as I wrote it. It was just me spitting stuff out. And I thought, okay, this is good, but yeah, most again, what's my audience? So I asked myself, what disc profile is prominent within real estate? And it's high I, D is I is most, maybe IS or ID, but that means about relationships. And again, about 60 to 70% of realtors are women. So I wrote the main character as a woman, and tried to make it more relatable to my audience. And that's the exact same way from a real estate agent side is how you need to market. If you market to what you like, which again I see a lot of realtors do, that's not your target market. You need to understand who your target market is, know what their pain points are, know what they like and what they dislike, and all your marketing needs to be to them. It might be the ugliest thing you've ever seen, but that speaks to them. You might like something completely different, but that shouldn't be your marketing unless you're going after you.
Funny, I see this all the time with realtors, and
Yeah.
even like I run a data company that sells lists of like potentially motivated sellers,
Yeah.
and so I try to teach different techniques to like target people. But somebody will tell me, and that's not really who I am, or that's not really my brand. I've heard that multiple times. It's
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
my brand. Well, it's like it doesn't matter. It's like, are you trying to look cute or are you trying to make money?
Yeah.
And I think a lot of times, agents are taught to focus on the wrong things. It's
Yeah.
like you don't have a brand if you don't have clients and if you're not selling houses. So,
You
um,
have to know who your ideal client is. Honestly, and again, AI is super good at it. You can ask AI, like, this is my target market. Create a persona of that person. And if you do the prompt right, literally it will name the individual, what his age or her age is, what their income is, what their job is, do they have kids, what they enjoy to do, what their pain points are. AI is so good at targeting that now. That's who you need to market to, if that's your ideal client. And people always say, "Oh, leads are shit." I hear it all the time.
mhm.
No, one of two things: leads are shit because you're marketing shit
Yep,
and you're not marketing to who you want, or the leads are good and your follow up shit.
yep. Yeah, this
Like
business is
that,
all about
it's
follow-up, right?
never the leads. It's not the leads' fault.
Man, I need to isolate that. All right, again, like it's not the lead's fault. All right.
100%.
All
It
right.
is not the leads' fault. The leads are never shit. They've clicked on something. They show some kind of motivation. You get to determine, okay, maybe they're not ready for a year. That's fine. You know how many people in my database I do deals with that have been in there for like, well, here's another thing. The average lead in my database used to be 3 months. It's 15 months now.
Yeah.
If you don't have a good follow-up system and a way to keep on top of them, I always say we're the last man standing. Everybody, those people probably clicked on, that's the other thing. They probably clicked on 5 other realtors.
Mm-hmm.
If you think you're the only one talking to them, you're mistaken. But you
Agreed.
need to be the last one talking to them.
Agreed. Yeah, that's
Everybody else calls once or twice or 3 times, and that's the end.
such gold. So even in the real estate investing side, like wholesalers and stuff like that,
Yeah.
most people don't follow up that often. And I was guilty of it at first too. I would follow up with somebody once, maybe twice, and then never hear from them again. And then I would see that somebody else got it. And it was like, okay.
Like
Like,
until they tell you to F off, you follow up. Like
and then when they
and
do,
like if they do, like that's okay, that's the end. But more often than not, they're not going to, but they're not going to tell you to F off if you're not following up with them.
agreed. Yeah, we even after we're told to F off, we'll call somebody back a couple months later. Yeah, because it's all about timing.
Yeah, yeah. It's being, and that's what um again with follow up, like retargeting clients or retargeting with Facebook ads with so my ads for retargeting anybody that comes in are just branding. So by the time they talk to me, they know me. They see me everywhere. Oh my God, you're actually coming to this listing? I thought you're a celebrity.
Nice.
Because
All
I'm
right.
everywhere, right? But once
Yeah.
they're in the trap, they're getting videos, they're getting follow everywhere, right? On all in their Google and their Facebook and their Instagram. Yeah, just be there and follow up. And that's why, like, again, if you're just generating leads and not having that follow up, that's another waste of money.
Agreed.
It's not just the cost of the lead. You have to be following up with them through remarketing and through, well, this is where, so I always used to use drip campaigns. I think drip campaigns are dead. Everybody knows the drip campaigns. It's a generic, vanilla, not specific to that client. I now have my CRM. We have a automation, an AI automation inside it that analyzes the lead and generates a text message and a lead specifically with the information from the lead, even what they've last looked at, what type of homes they are. So now everybody thinks I'm generating a message to them specifically. And reciprocity is all about if you give them something, they want to give something back.
And
So
so
all of a sudden
how
my
are they different?
replies have gone through the roof. I'm like triple or quadruple what I ever had before.
Yeah, how are they different from like client to client?
It analyzes every house they've looked at. So, say from one in city to the next city, their price range. My CRM pulls in LinkedIn data. It's not always right, but I've seen it where it's even put their job in in it. Um, every conversation we've ever had is in there. So it's analyzing and creating. So within it, I've got probably 25 different prompts, types of emails. So it could be re-engagement, follow up, interested in a property, determining their search criteria. And the great thing is, like, I could have put it in the prompt, say, wish everybody a happy new year at the beginning of every text message and email. So when it's doing it, it's now doing that. And I did that for 2 weeks and then I just take it off. And so I can sit and go through my leads, send emails and text messages specifically to them in about 30 seconds a lead.
Man, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Um,
And so we're just in the midst of developing this, is that data I'm now giving to my AI voice. So we'll be the first company where our AI voice isn't that generic. Like all you can do is it doesn't know anything about the lead, so you have to have a generic tagline. This
mhm.
can identify, so it's in beta right now, it can identify what the lead is and determine how to start the conversation off.
Oh, that's insane.
So it will be like specific. I saw that you're on the website 3 hours ago and we were looking at this property. Are you thinking about moving in the next 3 to 6 months?
Crazy. All right. On that topic, where do you see AI going? And how can people like adapt without getting left behind?
Yeah, my tagline is always like AI is not going to replace real estate agents. Like this is a contact sport. Um, but the agents that use AI are going to be the ones that are replacing the agents that don't use it. So, with technology, you need to get on board. It's easy to learn. Like I'm 57 years old. I'm a spring chicken, but I'm learning so much every day and it keeps me young. And honestly, like I think that continuous learning is such an important thing to help you stay young. Like it, honestly, I always say this all the time. I haven't had an alarm in 4 years, ever. I wake up between 5 and 6 o'clock every single morning, ready to go. Because I want to work. There's stuff I want to do.
Yeah.
So I don't have, I've honestly, I swear to God, not once have I set, even if I have an appointment or something early in the morning, I know I'll wake up on my own now. So
Amazing.
a lot different than having to hit the snooze button 20 years ago because I didn't want to go into the job.
Yeah, same.
You
All right. I always ask people in the real estate industry this because I don't know, just curiosity and the stories that come out of it have been insane.
know?
I feel like with real estate, we see I don't want to say the lowest of the low, but humanity not at its finest.
Yeah.
Um, what's the craziest real estate story that you have for me?
Well, I've certainly seen some crazy things in houses, but I've learned one thing that helps keep me sane is I don't ask why anymore. I don't ask why people do things. I don't ask why this is in the house. I don't get hung up on that because you'll never get the answer, right? It's like playing what if. Um, Honestly, like all my stories are about bad realtors. It's just like it's a shameful industry that there are so many really bad, incompetent realtors out there that are creating a disservice. But again, the average public doesn't really know what the difference is. So one of the things I do, um, like I tell everybody, interview, here's the questions to ask. So I give them a whole questionnaire. Ask them, how many deals did they do last year? Are they a full-time real estate agent? Like there's so many part-time real estate agents. How can you be part-time in this business?
Agreed.
Like, like if you're part-time, you do not know half of the things that because that half that they're not doing is where all the learning is.
Hmm.
Because real estate changes, the market changes, like personal development should be always on top of the mind. So, I can't think of anything specific from a real estate point of view. I've had deals fall almost, well, we had an offer in a multiple offer situation. Um, and the client didn't put the deposit in, which and the agent was just really, well, they just didn't want to do it. Like, no, you've already signed a contract. Like that, you have to realize the deposit is just part of the structure. The deposit doesn't make the deal null and void. We can still sue your client. Oh no, no, he can just if as long as he doesn't put the deposit in, he's okay. I said, if you told that to your client and we sue you now, you're the one that's going to get sued because you don't know that basic thing about contract law. As soon as they signed it with a seal, the deal's done. There's other things that have to happen. And if they don't happen, there's repercussions from the seller side that they can get out, but the buyer can't. The seller can say this deal is null and void because we didn't get it. The buyer cannot do that. The seller
Just
can say,
doing,
I want my deposit. We're going to sue you for it. And if you don't close the deal, then I'll relist it. And anything that I sell it for less is going to, we're going to sue you for. And you're going to need to pay the realtor because he's already sold the house. So he has to get paid again.
what about if the house sells for more?
Then there is no damages.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. If it went back and sold for more, then yeah, of course, that would mitigate the damages. In Canada, you can only sue for damages. Yeah, there's no personal thing. It's got to be concrete damages that you can sue for, but it's lining up now, and there's lots of them out there.
Cool.
Especially when the market went down, interest rates went up. And in Canada, when you buy new construction, you buy well in advance. So a home's typically a year or more. A condo can be up to 3 years. So you could have bought a condo for 500,000, thinking the interest rate back then was 2%. And then when it was ready to close, now it's only 400,000 and the interest rate's 6%. And now the bank's only going to give you 80% of 400,000. And now you need to come up with the difference.
Crazy.
It was crazy. So that's the condo market was the biggest one because it was such a lead time. So the condo market's still really hurting right now because of that. But that's again, at the time, they were buying without real estate agents. They would go to the site. The real estate agent that's there is only working for the seller. Nobody is working for the buyer, and they sign these terrible contracts with no advice. So now everybody realizes that they need to work with a realtor even when they're buying new construction, because we can make sure like assignment fees, or there's so many things that every contract was all in their best interest because no one argued it.
Yes.
So yeah, things have changed that way for sure.
Yeah, clearly. All right. What advice would you give to someone who is looking to learn AI and how to apply it to their own business and their own life?
Well, obviously the YouTube is a good way to start. There's lots out there. Um, the good thing about our AI automation company is, not only do we provide AI voice, AI texting, AI inbound, we can do AI widgets on your website. We are just about at the technology where we can put you with your video as a widget and your voice, and it will be smart enough to answer questions and even book appointments even on your website. So that's going to take websites to the next level. Um, I use it in my training now. I use text to voice and video, so I don't have to sit here and record all these videos. I have all the text templates. I just pop it in, and my AI me does it. So you're going to see personas be really big, which are clones of yourself that can do your mundane tasks, um, even up to generating a contract.
Oh, wow.
So it can do it all the way up to, you're going to have to review it, but it can do the generic, like you just give it the details, and it will be able to generate a full contract for you. Anything that you have the knowledge, if you can train it, it can do it. So, but my key to all of this is to free up your time to build more relationships, get you from behind the computer. So go out for coffee, go play a round of golf, join a pickleball league, join whatever. Like just get out there and meet people. I would say this real estate is, well, even real estate investment, it's a contact sport. It's not tennis. This is hockey or football. Like you need to be out there and meet people and like just every day. And I think so many agents now are stuck behind all of this technology, which has even made them stay in behind a computer even more. But AI is going to flip that. And so to learn, you can do it there. If you come to our company, you give us all of your software, and we'll tell you what we feel is the best software solution that's out there right now, and even AI. So you and I talked about Descript beforehand for this. Trust me, Descript has saved. I don't even have I had a VA to do all our video editing and everything else. We can do it ourselves. Literally,
Wow.
after this video, I'm going to download it. I'm going to start editing it up. Then I give it to my wife, who brings it back into Canva, puts a little bit of sparkles back on, and it's up on YouTube in a few hours.
Yeah,
And I generate it into 6 different reel clips or shorts that can go out, and you can do this whole thing in an hour, which I used to pay it an ASI or a VA, and it would take her 2 days.
crazy. Um,
So yeah,
um,
that's one of our tools that we do. Like we're always giving you advice. I send out a newsletter each month, and I also provide one free AI tool that I found that would be really useful in your business. So I'm always trying to find AI stuff. Um, my biggest change that's happened in the last few weeks now is AI in my car. So I talk to my AI while I'm driving, get it to generate reports, spreadsheets, emails, help me brainstorm. I have an AI running, listening to our conversations. This AI app listens to the conversation. It will analyze it. It will tell me, it's got about 30 different prompts. I can say, what was my blind spot? What did I miss? How do you summarize it? What should I have said? How do I follow up? There's all different questions, and all it does is sit and listen while you're on your app while you're doing a conversation. So there's all these tools out there that I'm helping realtors, or really any, because it's utilized in any business. I always say anybody that has to book appointments can use our service
Wow.
because it will book it for you. It links up to your spreadsheet. It tells the client when there's availability. So think about restaurants, mechanics, um, what hairdressers, hair salons, HVAC people, anybody where you have to book an appointment, AI is going to do a way better job, and you're not going to have to lift a finger or pick up a phone or pay somebody to do it.
That's amazing. All right. How do people get a hold of you? Well, first off, Unbreakable. It's out on Amazon. Uh,
Amazon, yeah, it's on Amazon.com. Email me. Unfortunately, Amazon or so Audible will not allow AI voice to upload. So I didn't want to spend $3,000. First of all, I didn't have the time to do it. I don't want to spend $3,000 to have somebody to read it. My AI voice, I love. He did such a great job. He's way more engaging than most audibles because I listen to him all the time. So it's on a different website. I can, if you send me an email. So the best way to reach me is mark at mod, M-O-D, realty.ca, not com.ca. So yeah, that's my email. Just message me if you want more information on the coaching app. So the coaching app, either you can use it on your own, you can use it with booking one live 45-minute session with me a month, or two 45-minute sessions with me a month. So there's three different plans to choose from. The AI automation, there's a form to fill out. There's a video in there that explains it all. There's a form to fill out that you tell about a business. We get it. We send you a quote back to how much it costs to set up and then what monthly. So right now, for 500 minutes of outbound calls, is $3.99 a month.
Not bad.
That's a quarter of what a VA would cost.
Yeah, seriously.
Like, and we'll do a better job. And that's the thing. They work 7 days a week. They're never sick. They're never grumpy. They don't care if the person told them to fuck off on the phone before or hang up on them. And you can train them way better than you can train your VA.
Seriously. And there's no accents.
And no accents. Well, you get to, and we literally have hundreds of voices, so you get to pick a voice because we have accents for like all over the U.S. and Canada. So you get to choose a voice that you want to use, male or female. Outbound we use male, inbound we use female.
I'm
That's our
from,
best
I'm
experiences.
from Maryland, so I can't imagine what that Baltimore accent is like. All right.
Well,
Well, I
you get the
appreciate
nondescript accent, that TV accent that
this. All right.
nobody
Well,
can
I
figure out
appreciate your
exactly where they're
time.
from.
I appreciate your time.
Absolutely.
Wealth of knowledge. Make sure you guys reach out to Mark. As always, this episode is brought to you by Pinpoint Skip. You can check out our lists at pinpointskip.com. Thanks again, Mark.
Thank you. Thank you.